this is Samantha Cox from Long Neck Manor, and today we are going to be talking about kind of what we do behind the scenes that a lot of people may not realize or know that we even have to think about, and that would be weeding. This right here is our weeding map. It is basically just a Google image of our property, especially where our animal pastures are. So this one right here is our rhino pasture. It's just a big L, and then this pasture right here is our giraffe pasture. One thing that people don't maybe think about is toxic plants that may grow in the area. We actually have to use a special concoction because you just can't use, your simple Roundup in areas where you may have animals. And then we go out and we'll spray the pasture. After an hour, you can give animals access to it. These type of weed killers can be used for ungulates. It's safe for ungulates, however, once it's dry. But just to be safe, we typically do it once the animals are shifted out of the pasture and no one will be in there until the next morning, just to be extra cautious. So pretty much what we do, this is actually the second time that we're doing this summer already. We'll just go out, weed a little section of the pasture. Whenever we're finished, we'll just kind of highlight the area that we think kind of correlates to out on the property, and then we'll date it, and then we'll just kind of go out and focus on where the weeds are the worst. So these two spots in the rhino pasture were probably high priority just due to the amount of weeds that were out there. So we focused on those. The giraffe pasture is a little bit more difficult because that is one that typically always has either the giraffes or rhinos in there. So whenever an animal is not in there overnight, we definitely prioritize weeding in that pasture. Luckily, when it comes to the giraffe pasture, the giraffes don't eat off of the ground. They are gonna eat all their food higher up. So it's not a super big concern for them. However, we just wanna be extra cautious, extra careful. We don't want any accidents or any curiosity about, ooh, what's this plant? However, on the other hand, rhinos are grazers. So they're constantly eating off the ground, whether it be any fresh grass that's growing in here or their hay, and we just don't want any accidents. Typically, animals are pretty good about avoiding any plants that may smell off. And they're a little high maintenance. They like what they like. They may not go for weeds, but just to be extra careful, extra cautious, we do try to get as many weeds out as possible. So one of the weeds that we do look out specifically for this area in the hill country is nightshade. Purple nightshade and then yellow nightshade. So even though those two, they typically have pretty colorful flowers, they're actually quite toxic. So those are the kind of the two that we really look out for when it comes to weeding in their pasture. They also are very spiny, so if we have to pull the weeds, we usually will do that after it rains because the ground is a little bit more moist, so we can just get the plants out right away. But we have to wear gloves because the plants are actually very spiky. Weeding is just one example of what kind of goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't really think about when it comes to working with animals at zoos or wildlife parks or conservation parks like us. Weeding, whether it be plants, we have to think about what certain kind of trees and landscaping we can put up just in case a giraffe is curious and they may want to go eat it. So all of the plants near any of our pastures are also safe for accidents if a giraffe is like, ooh, this looks good today. Including just like ant killer as well. So a lot of that stuff we have to do our research on. We can reach out to other facilities, see what has worked for them as well. But just something that's for the public to think about, all the extra little things that we do just to make their home and where they live as safe as possible. So if you guys want to know anything else about Long Neck Manor, anything that goes on behind the scenes, whether it be about what we do in our day-to-day jobs, or the animals, what they do, just like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.